Hey, what is good? This is Archangel Raphael, aka Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Krishna, and the Buddha, as well as other known deities in and out the body. As well as usual, I'm here to carry out God's will, authority, purity, and essence. And as today's video, I'm out here in the LA shirt, going barefoot, grounding and stuff. And I think it's a great day just to really soak in and kind of elaborate on a few things that's really close and dear to my heart around these times, and we're experiencing massive change and rapid transformation. And since you are with the right boss on the right flight, I like to carry my videos on a certain tempo in which you can resonate with and be able to fly around while you receive this information and download it into your system. Because not everything is meant for everyone, and not everyone is meant for everything. So, since I carried the duality with me continuously anywhere and everywhere I go, it's always kind of permission granted sort of insight onto myself that I can really bestow certain things that you've never heard in the way that I would even approach because I am original and the one and only. So, and as you shall be as well, because that is your birth-given right, and it is justly given to you, so for you to be entirely unique and really carry out your divine purpose in such that way. So without waiting any longer, the programming all around you seeks to embellish you in this sort of death-like transient state, which even though you may develop spiritual gifts and hindsights and abilities through carrying yourself to this divine revelation, prophetic visualizations to carry you out onto your purpose, at the end of the day, you're still going to be left short. You're still going to be short-handed if you don't realize the truth that carrying yourself into the deathly hollow chamber is not the way of a true wizard, is not the way of a true enlightened being. Because while yes, you may develop these gifts and you may develop all the things that you think you wanted and needed in order to get to be that figure, you would have already been there and you would have already got to the same place if you held strong in your intuition, which is that the fact that you don't need those things. You don't need to follow in what has been laid out before you and accept this liquid-like death into the chaotic waters all around you that you have pretty much witnessed every artist and every actor and any sort of spiritual advisors you've seen get lost and outweighed by this trap of promise of success and higher fortitude that never really escapes the grasp of death. So if you are going to do anything, you might as well do it the righteous way. You might as well come on this channel and realize the fact that there is only one way, and it is to stay truly committed onto that which you believe is righteous in your heart. So if you're going around and following through what everyone else is doing and thinking that doing these things is somehow going to make you a lesser being, it's not. And there are plentiful and abundant amount of creators out here that are the living, walking evidence of proof, such as me, that it is not that. It's definitely not that. You have nothing inside yourself to let yourself believe that it's that, because the truth of the matter is Are you going to accept life, or are you going to follow pursuit in the game, an everlasting game, contrapt. Really pay attention to what I'm saying there. Contrapt. Two separate words meshing together to show you it's a trap and it's a lie. Contrapt in time, which is the illusion. So I'm here to pull everyone out of that lie that you believe that causing death is somehow going to fulfill life. It's never going to do that. Back in high school, I used to have this little spray bottle called liquid ass, essentially being liquid death, because it was that. So I would spray it amongst my friends and people I knew. Is because we was all in permission with the same following guidelines and the same matrix programmed behavioral systems that none of us got out of until I awakened on my own and started doing the practices that would allow me to be free again, such as being vegan. Because I don't want to cause death and experience more death around me. I want to break those chains. That was the first form of slavery in which our minds have been programmed into a sheepishly deathful, just as I was about to say it, sick-like state. And the only way in which you can escape these things and that are pretty much granted for you to experience within the karmic cycle that you're own inflicting, is if you do a full 360, walk, start stepping the other direction, realizing that yes, I am right because I have the faith, and then boom, you start carrying yourself to freedom. You think you're going to experience a lot of obstacles because everyone around you is not that way. You're fighting against the grain. You're going against the system and everything else around you, and yes, you see people doing it, but you've never seen someone like me on this channel here to remind you and show you that experience the same things you experience, and I can bring it into light in a way that no one can quite grasp and bring it to that light, which I can. And there's a reason for that. Is because I'm such in a specific position to be able to do so. I have walked through such specific lifetimes of remembering certain past lives of mine that I can remember exactly what I experienced and why I experienced those things, and the type of life I just basically lived, in order to bring me into this new prophetic like revelation and why I am the entity I am now, for entirely selfless reasons. And I would like you to believe so as well, because when you are keeping yourself warm and loving thyself, you're not necessarily free to the cosmos, always, because sometimes you have to go inwardly and you really have to be attached to the vessel that you created in order to truly find why you created the thing that you created in the first place, and why the vessel in which you created has certain modalities of expression within inside it. But you could only do that if you so hardly loved it and expressed it onto yourself. So requiring your own touch, requiring your own hug of self-love, which then, once you step into that, fluid-like, water-like, almost chaotic-like expression of creation, then you can come back to freedom and slowly start traveling through creation, which that is the astral travel to begin with. Now, animals do not know how to really access the abilities and the gifts that you as a human have received and have been bestowed. So an animal will create damage onto the environment of other beings coming and going. But a human has the higher 5, like, leading to the duplication onto the reflection of 10, has full abilities to dig a hole and to take a shit. An animal will just boom, that's that, you know? So which in hindsight ruins the environment for other beings alike. So but since animals are always being hunted and in this sick society of survival, they don't really get much of a chance to come together in unification to have higher faculties of expression and thinking. But you wouldn't think about it like that, would you? Because you automatically begin to assume that the animal is just the way it is because it's an animal, but you don't realize that the animal is put under certain conditions and fields of reality where it's put in a modality of separation, and there's only few animals that are accepted as household pets that are fully ingrained and brought to safety, and then they're taught to behave just as well as any other animal, and they're not really brought into the higher faculty of thinking and expression, but they're fed the same thing. They're fed more animals. They're fed. So if you want to break the chain in which certain beings are already entrapped in, you have to be outside of that, looking inwardly, and then and only then can you lead all beings to a place where freedom is possible, expansion is possible. Spirituality is not just a given, it has to be received as well. So if you are not able to receive the certain antennas that somebody might give off, you can't even be the insect that can properly ingrain the information, because the insect has these antennas all around it, it's around his bodies. So even bigger than the insect, even bigger than the animal, there is that soul in you that realizes that you had to expand in order to come into this human-like, fully engrossed in reality and meshed in with Godhood avatar that you created. So that is what creators alike manifested into this physical form are all expressing right about now, is the fact that we are these powerful creators, and as soon as we come together and get unified in the fact that we are spilling blood, creating ourselves to be entrapped in more death, so we create more death around us. And as soon as we can all agree the fact that this is no way to live anymore, and we can come out of that, that's as soon as boom, everything will shift. But we can't do that if we're not strong enough as leaders and creators to express ourselves onto our unique source, an original atmospheric Godhood that's all around, in every single, all below us, all above us, and circulating, even encapsulating us in reality. So if we're gonna constantly ask, is God real? And if God is real, where is God? We only have to look not much further than within ourselves, because we have been placed in certain situations. We have brought ourselves to certain realities and manifested certain experiences to remind us and show us our own divinity and our own strength and our power and our own manifesting abilities of fortitude, that we stay true to practicing what we preach, to continue this cycle of evolution and change, and all the way to the point of manifesting our freedom again and again and again, to show us our innate abilities that is God given, because we are these vessels, because we are that strong, because we are these entities in which we radicalized and expressed ourselves within. So since everything is that pointing direction, you may not look any further than yourself to realize that you're here with me. And a lot of the esoteric and spiritual knowledge that you see all around you was in fact to summon myself and other beings like myself, since the heart is the first chamber, since the heart is the first leading insight to lead upward, to lead to the transcendence, to lead to the awareness. But it wasn't until the heart started beating and really started projecting, if you will, and rather I'd even say start expanding because through the descendants could the heart come into the self-realization, prophetic advantages that the heart naturally has, to start emanating the truth radically. So yeah, it's about time that I start broadcasting in a massive frequency on this channel now, because I'm in that space that I put myself in outside of time, fully looking down on a lot of things and everything within that is towards the deathly hollow death chamber pit that most of society of humankind is totally enveloped and wrapped in right now. So this video is to simply bring so much light of awareness and modalities of expression that you've never even seen or heard before, to really show you that you are on the right path, and you do have these intuitive feelings inside of yourself that lead you to ultimately taking full responsibility and taking back your own sovereignty and taking back your own true abilities that you already have within yourself, to know who you are and why you are the person, and why you are the way you are. Without further ado, this was Archangel Raphael, and since change is the universal, only universal constant, this is Dr. Change signing out to bring you into a new form of expression and ability within yourself that you already know you have within yourself. This video was only to show you what you already know, bring light and awareness onto the deathly hollows chamber that you no longer need to be entrapped in. Go ahead and catch this flight with me real quick before I do my little outro. Peace, love, and enlightenment.